Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the worship service of the First Unitarian Church of Hobart, where we strive to put love at the center of how we show up in the world. So each week, during our Sunday morning worship, we join together in reciting the words of the affirmation of faith, which is printed in your order of service and on the screen. Well, it's in your order of service. There it is. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is our sacrament. Service is its prayer. And this is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Since not everyone can attend in person, we are streaming this service online, and we extend a special welcome to all who are joining us virtually. The joys and sorrows portions, however, will be private, and we will pause during that time. Other than that, the worship is being recorded and will be available for future viewing on our website. Today, our worship service will be led by our guest, Lilia Wolf. Lilia is a student at Indiana University. Though her major is in contemporary dance, she spends much of her time organizing with the student movement for Palestine on campus. Lillian's parents are right there. Stand up. Let them know you're here. And the first service that I attended here, Lilia was a lot younger then, but and that's what I was just blown away. She come dancing down the aisle and across here. It was just beautiful. She knows her dance. So please turn off or silence your devices, and as you do so, allow yourself to enter sacred time together. Take a breath. And another. And join us in the spirit of reverence. People say, what is the sense of a small effort? They cannot see that we must lay the brick one at a time. Take care one step at a time. A pebble cast into a pond causes ripples that spread in all directions. Each one of our thoughts, words, and deeds is like that. No one has a right to sit down and feel hopeless. There's so much work to be done. The flaming chalice is a symbol of Unitarian Universalism. It suggests the transformations that take place when we are held within religious community. When we light the chalice in worship, we illuminate a world that we feel called upon to serve with love and a sense of justice. Now please join me in lighting our chalice by reading the words on the screen and in the order of service. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. You light the beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. Unitarian Universalism is a covenantal faith. We do not have a creed. Instead, we commit to walk together in a spirit of mutual love, abiding by the promises to which we hold each other together in creating our congregational covenant. So each week, we affirm together a portion of this congregational covenant. I will say some words, and you can read what's on the screen. Okay. For all the ways that we have neglected to expend our spiritual growth and faith in action, may we forgive ourselves and each other and begin again in love. For all the ways that we have not committed our hearts and minds to building a community of caring, acceptance, and reconciliation, may we forgive ourselves and each other and begin again in love. For all the ways that we have not actually worked to build trust and respect in our community, may we forgive ourselves and each other and begin again in love. Now please turn and greet your neighbors. All these beautiful faces, say hello, good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're my neighbor. I was wondering, do you have an order of service on you? Or I realized I didn't grab one. Thank you so much.
Okay, please stand, and if you can, and hymn 155 in your blue hymnal, in your gray hymnal. Be seated. Whenever we gather with others, we have the opportunity to share our own private joys and sorrows, to build them, to hold them together, so the lightness of the joys will be up and the heaviness of the sorrows can be held together. So that if anybody wishes to share, please do so. I ask that when Lilia comes to you, that you share your name and give your joys or sorrows.
Hi, I'm Amanda. So Maggie and I went for a walk last night, and as I shared last week, my cat passed away two weeks ago. And so we went for a walk last night, and we had ice cream, and there's fireworks going off, and Maggie and I were both very much like, oh my God, you know. And we all of a sudden came upon this truck, and we heard, and so we were like, oh my God. So we're on the ground and we're looking, and there's a paw just hanging out the bottom of this truck. And we were like, oh my God. And so what do we do, you know? And so finally we see a little kitten pop out. and then, but the fireworks kept scaring the kitten back and forth and back and forth. And Maggie's in the road, and, you know, she's like, don't hit the cat. And it's like, don't hit Maggie. And, you know, just, you know, craziness. And then, so finally I set my ice cream down, and that did the trick. And then she just came over and, they gotcha. So I have a tiny white kitten in my bathroom right now who has been climbing me like a tree, and she likes to perch on the shoulder. She perched on Maggie's shoulder. She perched on mine, and so it's just beautiful. It's just really beautiful. So, yeah, what a grateful, world is crazy, right? So it was just lovely. So I wanted to share that with all of you.
Hi, I'm David. I'll just jump in and say that Bennett is turning 2 on Tuesday, which I'm very excited about. It's so fun. I was just looking at a video from a year ago when he like crawled away at the end of the video, and I was like, wow, he doesn't do that anymore. So just very happy.
My name's Connie. I very rarely talk at the... And I just came here for the food, you know. Couldn't wait for that cookout, but I had no idea you were speaking. And what a joy it is to see you. I am just filled with joy seeing you. So, yeah, it's wonderful to see you. Yeah. And the apple does not fall far from the tree when it comes to your parents.
Good morning. My name's Dick. I want to welcome my visitor here. It's my sister-in-law, Chris, from Indianapolis. So happy to have her here.
Hi, my name's Lisa Marie. I didn't announce it last week, but I had surgery on Monday. It was thyroid surgery, so those who I told, thank you for your prayers and your blessings. I had faith that it was going to be okay, and thank you.
Hi. Excuse me. We practiced so hard this morning. I don't think I have a voice for the song now. Anyway, I'm finally back again, hopefully for a few weeks or a month, maybe, we'll see. But I was able to spend time with my son John's family out in Maryland. And I have grandchildren 7 and 4, and it's great to see them and have a chance to be with them. It makes my heart bleed so much, though, when I hear about what happened in Texas with the children that are young, like my grandchildren. And I know we shouldn't say too much. You know, you grieve first, but boy, you still got to ask about what happened. Why did this happen? And did it have to happen because of cuts that have been made? Anyway, but I'm glad to be back. And also, I texted my family. I know my 7-year-old loves to dance, and I'm hoping they get a chance to watch you on YouTube. You're an inspiration also to her. Thanks. All right.
That is? Okay. In gratitude for all that has been shared and that which lives on in the sanctuaries of our heart, may we continue to weave the fabric of this community into our ever beautiful patterns. Now please rise in body or spirit for the doxology.
Today's story is Janine and the Precious Palestine Pie by Nadine Foti, illustrated by Sanskriti Shukla. And this is dedicated to the victims of the Nakba and their ongoing fight for Palestinian self-determination, dignity, and freedom. Janine just finished baking her precious pie, a crispy crust with melty cherries inside. Right when she sat to take the first bite, Sam snatched it away. It was nowhere in sight. He ran into town, selling them proud, on top of his head and shouting quite loud, "This is my pie! I spent so much time. I make cherry, apple, and also key lime." Janine exclaimed, "How could you steal? Don't you care about how I feel? I spent so much time pounding the crust, hand-picked cherries from my garden, a must. All the town raves about my pies, so many orders almost reaching the sky." "That never happened. All you say are lies. I've got the key. It's now Sam's Pies." Well, Janine was appalled. "This is not fair. Oh, my precious pies, they took so long to prepare." "The secret recipe. Hey, that's it. This for sure will make Sam admit. I always leave a little something in my pie so everyone knows which is moist and which is dry. Go on ahead, dig deep in the pie, and you will find Palestine inside." Everyone roared with laughter. "Well, this is a joke." They didn't believe what Janine spoke. "Okay, go on. You all will see. Palestine is there and will always be." Splashing and popping through each little cherry, Sam kept digging to find something was buried. There it was, the map of Palestine right in his hand, smudged with cherries picked from the trees of her land. Janine stood proudly and remained calm, picked up her pie, and took Palestine in her palm. "Remember this, Sam. It's not nice to steal a pie, a cookie, or even a meal. I gardened, I worked, I baked this precious pie. When you took it without asking, I just started to cry. But what makes a real baker, and not the one that lies, is when you bake the tasty treats of the old and the wise, and sign your name with Palestine inside. The taste will always be magnificent and great. This is the way I always know my cakes." Janine sat down with her cup of mint tea to eat her precious pie and look at the sea. "Oh yes, this pie is definitely mine, my precious pie from Palestine."
Having trouble seeing this morning. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed, can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever will. And now we'll hear from Lilia.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to see you all today, and cool to be up here for the first time in my life. So, April 25th of 2024 was one of the most important days of my life, the start of one of the most important weeks of my life. I was finishing my freshman year at Indiana University, a year full of much change and excitement, as most freshman years are. And 3 days prior, I, along with 24 or so other members of the Palestine Solidarity Committee at IU, had made the decision to erect an encampment in Dunn Meadow, a designated free speech zone next to the Indiana Memorial Union, home to many protests throughout IU's history. In fact, in the 80s, a similar encampment was set up there, Shantytown, to protest IU's complicity in the South African apartheid. I arrived at Dunn Meadow that morning, anticipation racing through my heart. In the early hours of that day, IU had placed signs reading, "Welcome, no overnight camping is permitted. No unapproved temporary or permanent structures are permitted, including but not limited to tents. Please be respectful of IU's First Amendment policy and the Student Code of Conduct. Persons knowingly or intentionally interfering with the possession or use of IU property without consent may be subject to arrest and prosecution for criminal trespass. Demonstration safety team members are on site to provide assistance." By 4 p.m. that day, the Indiana State Police had arrived, brutally attacked us, and arrested 36 people, including my sibling Max and many of my close friends. The police also placed a sniper on the roof of the Indiana Memorial Union pointed down at us, which stayed there for 3 days. 2 days later, on Saturday, the police came again and arrested 23 more people. My memory of these days goes in and out. I remember certain moments so clearly, and others seem like a blur that I can't recall at all. I barely remember the 5 hours pre-raid on the first day, but I remember very clearly the panic attack I had in the bathroom of a dorm I was hiding in after I had sprinted away from the police during a small protest excursion, convinced that I put everybody in danger. I was on the phone with my dad and my brother as they calmed me down. I remember my friend picking me up from the dorm that I was hiding in and taking me to his mom's house, drinking orange Gatorade, taking a 7-minute shower, and letting my tears mix with the hot water, and then rushing to the theater to be an usher for a dance performance right after. I remember waking up at 5 a.m. the first night we stayed in the liberated zone, being told that cop cars were circling and they might attack. I remember realizing that my body was shaking and I couldn't stop it, being given instructions by one of our medics to drink some water and get as far away as possible. I also remember the Passover Seder I led on the first night, attempting to sing Zognik Kemel, the song of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, with a voice that cracked every 2 seconds because I had screamed and chanted all day. I remember the feeling of awe at the amount of food, medical supplies, tents, blankets, sunscreen, etc., that were donated by community members on such short notice. When we had planned the encampment, there was a real stress about whether we would have enough people to make it safe, if we would have enough resources to go around. The outpouring of community solidarity was one of the most surprising and beautiful parts of it all. I remember the shield of bodies around the Muslim around the Muslim members of the encampment praying Jummah, protecting them from the cameras and jeers from onlookers. I remember the feeling of immense love and solidarity in the liberated zone, the feeling that we were doing something big and worthwhile, that we might be making a difference for the people in Gaza. I've recently realized that my search for truth and meaning has been political organizing, protesting, activism, whatever you want to call it. When I came into college, I knew that I wanted to be involved in some sort of leftist organization, that I wanted to be involved in fighting for change. It's not that I want there to be problems to fix. It's just that I know wherever I go in the world, there will be problems. Capitalism and imperialism has an insidious way of inserting itself into the corners of our world, and Bloomington, IU, certainly was no exception. IU has priced out many Bloomington residents, leading to a large homeless population, and because unhoused people are unsightly for the touring college families, Bloomington frequently kicks them out of downtown and raids the homeless camps they're forced to live in, leaving them nowhere to go. The Kinsey Institute at IU, a leading research hub for human sexuality and gender, has been under attack for years now. along with the statewide effort to attack queer people, especially trans people in Indiana, as we well know. The problems come one after the other. Climate change, racism, police brutality, sexual assault, domestic violence, poverty, on and on and on and on. Since I was young, I've been someone who was drawn to organize around fixing these issues as much as I can. In 5th grade, I organized a picket line during recess because the school administration didn't let us talk during lunch. I saw a problem, I was pissed, no one was doing anything about it, so I did something about it. In 8th grade, I organized a walkout at my middle high school, Gabbett, against gun violence. I saw a problem, I was pissed, no one at my school was doing anything about it, so I did something about it. My search for truth and meaning has always been the insatiable need to push forward change, to fight for good in the world, even though it may be a small drop in the bucket or the ocean of injustice and cruelty of the world. I feel incomplete when I'm not dedicating part of my life to organizing. So when I came to IU, I was looking for something, some organization to join, some cause to fight for. Within my first semester at IU, the genocide in Gaza started. On October 9th of 2023, I went to a call-out meeting for the Palestine Solidarity Committee, attended by almost 200 people, and have spent the almost 2 years since dedicating many hours a week to fighting for Palestinian freedom through the avenue of student organizing. I don't want it to seem like I just picked something out of a hat, though, that there is no reason other than personal need for meaning in my life. That feels selfish to fight for Palestine simply because it benefits me, my conscience, my purpose, whatever. Palestine is a much larger fight, and really, I fight for it because it sickens me to my core that the world, America, IU, is not only complicit in the ongoing genocide of Palestinians, but actively contributes to it. I saw a problem, I was pissed, there were people doing something about it, so I joined them. Within my first semester at IU, the genocide in Gaza started. Oh, sorry. I consider giving a brief history of Palestine during this sermon to understand why I was called to the movement, its history of colonization, apartheid, and ethnic cleansing. But after writing that, I realized there is no way to make a brief history of Palestine. And I'm unfortunately on a time limit here. So I'm happy to talk about Palestinian history during coffee hour if anybody wants to do that. I think it's incredibly important to contextualize the current genocide. What I will say, though, is that the Palestinian struggle is one of resistance to settler colonialism, a struggle of European powers taking away Palestinians' agency, a struggle of deep loss, forced removal from indigenous lands, a history of genocide and massacre after massacre, and a long and powerful history of resistance. Since October 7th of 2023, at least 60,000 people have been murdered in Gaza, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. However, it was estimated by the Lancet Medical Journal that these numbers are underreported by at least 41%. Just yesterday, 78 Palestinians were murdered by Israeli bombs, according to Gaza hospitals. At least 743 Palestinians have been killed since May by Israel as they have been waiting in line for food from US-run Gaza Humanitarian Foundation aid hubs. People are being rounded up, baited by necessary food as they are starving and thirsty before being killed mercilessly by the Israeli military. The Flower Massacre on February 29th of 2024 was a similar case, with at least 119 Palestinians being open-fired on while seeking food from aid trucks. Many of the victims were found soaked in flour and blood. Hind Rajab, a 5-year-old girl, was fleeing with her family after being told to evacuate their home. Their car was shelled, killing everyone but her. She was on the phone with paramedics for hours, and when they reached her, they too were killed. Her body was found decomposing 12 days later in a car with 335 bullet holes next to her family, with coloring pages at her feet. People are trapped in Gaza, many of them already displaced from the Nakba in 1948, with no food to eat to feed themselves and their children, with the constant and indiscriminate bombs raining down upon them, moving from camp to camp as their homes are destroyed around them and their friends and family are killed mercilessly by bombs, snipers, assault rifles, you name it. That is why I organize. I cannot let a day go by knowing that this is happening, with weapons sent from the country I live in, with 2,000-ton bombs refurbished by military complexes my university invests in, with my university directly investing in the state of Israel who is committing this genocide. Any repression I've faced at IU, which has been a lot, it's been, the encampment, but also my friends having private investigators parked outside of their house for months on end, people getting arrested from classes for things like graffiti and then sent to jail for a week, that kind of stuff. It's a lot, but everything that I've experienced at IU while demanding that they divest from Israel pales in comparison to the horrors that people in Gaza are living through, perpetrated by Israel. I feel I have a duty, we all have a duty, as citizens of the country sending 80% of those weapons to Israel, as Unitarian Universalists who have love and joy in our hearts. Our truth and meaning is everything about the world. We love everybody here. We love, the people, the citizens of the world. And it's our duty to resist with everything we have. There is nothing more important. Globalize the Intifada and free Palestine. Thank you.
I must say, at that age, I didn't have that in me. I'm embarrassed to say. So your parents did good with you. We choose to welcome the spirit of life, join together in our liveness, and share our resources. This month, we are sharing Loose Change for Social Change, as we do every year in July, with the River Forest School System. It's one of the poorer school systems in this area. Most students in the system are underprivileged. There will also be a collection box in the parish hall for physical items. The list is on the front of the box. I have 4 people. For your prayers, your presence, your service, and your gifts, we are truly thankful. Does anybody have any announcements? Didn't get any today, but I do have something I want to say. Go ahead.
It's really short notice. I did put something on the church Facebook. There is a meeting of immigrant rights folks today, 4 to 6:30 here at the church. We will be immigration lawyer will be here to talk about know your rights information for people who are potentially
Thank you. I just want to announce that our board, our new board, that started July 1st, I think they met online, I'm not sure, they met somewhere. So they could, I think a couple of them are going to be going out of town, so they wanted to make sure they had all the offices filled, so they voted on their officers. And we have Michelle Farrell as president. Stephanie Dow as vice president. Noelle Evans as secretary. And James Johnson as treasurer. And of course, Cheryl Powell is a trustee, and alternate is Gail Thomas. Okay, please rise and body your spirit for the Teal Hymnal 126, Every Woman in the World. Dear source of all that is, we call upon your eternal presence to fill every heart and mind with the sacred balm of peace. Let your divine light dissolve all fear, division, and unrest, replacing them with the healing of the Lord's embrace. May peace rise now within us, softening our thoughts, calming our bodies, and radiating out to touch all beings across the vibration of unity and compassion, knowing that peace is real and achievable now. and so be it. And in your order of service to accompany our extinguishing of the chalice. May we continue to carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, until we are together again. And I want to invite everybody here to come out to the Memorial Garden and join us for our annual picnic. Thank you.